I just found out that YouTube has an inspiration tab where AI tells you what the best idea for your next video is so that you don't need to use your brain. And since I'm not about to question our soon-to-be robot overlords, I figured I should listen. Like all other insects, the life of a praying mantis starts cold, moist, and in a personal egg prison cell. Luckily, they don't enter their lives of non-stop devotional hand signs alone. This egg is one of many eggs wrapped in what is disgustingly known as an egg case. This egg case will contain anywhere between 100 and 400 eggs, which honestly makes me lose all patience for chickens complaining that one egg a day is a lot to manage. Several factors can affect how long life inside the egg can last, such as temperature and humidity, but typically the praying mantis will emerge after approximately 2 to 6 weeks. Those that emerge should consider themselves lucky, because only about 150 of these eggs will have offspring emerge. You may be looking at this and thinking that you've lost your marbles, because this does not look like any praying mantis that you've ever seen, and you just saw the thumbnail. And you would be right for thinking this. What emerges from this egg is known as a nymph, which are just the adolescents of the praying mantis world. For this optimistic young nymph, the sun is shining and life is grand, but it is soon going to get hit with the bleak knowledge that only an estimated 5 to 10% of nymphs will reach adulthood. There are 3 main reasons for this. First, nymphs are delicious, and that recently hatched egg case is essentially the open sign on the all-you-can-eat buffet of the animal kingdom. Birds and other insects such as wasps have a particularly strong craving for fresh nymph. Second, for the nymphs that do manage to dodge becoming a snack, finding a snack of their own can prove to be a sizable challenge. The nymphs that emerge from the eggs are only about 5 millimeters tall, which you can imagine makes the nearby food that is only a step away for you become a very large distance to cover for the nymph. Lastly, nymphs would be advised against trusting their newfound family. Some of the larger nymphs to emerge realize that the closest food source is not the McDonald's down the road, but their smaller siblings that they have been surrounded by. To be fair, I'm sure the ice cream machine was broken and it wasn't going to be worth the walk anyway. Similar to teenage years for humans, the nymph stage for a praying mantis is a time full of awkward body changes, learning new things about yourself, and non-stop eating without needing to worry about gaining weight. Progress through the nymph stage is best categorized in terms of molts. A nymph will molt 5 to 10 times over the course of several months on the way to adulthood. During a molt, the nymph sheds its exoskeleton and emerges slightly larger, slightly taller, and slightly closer to looking like a full-blown adult praying mantis. All this growing requires a steady stream of calories. Nymphs will spend the majority of their days filling their creepy little faces with a large variety of things that have no business being anywhere near the word food. Flies, mosquitoes, moths, crickets, grasshoppers, and aphids are all common meals on the dinner menu, and you thought that pot roast was disgusting. When a nymph goes through its final molt, it is officially an adult praying mantis. Rather than celebrating this achievement with a graduation party in their parents' garage, the adult praying mantis will emerge from the final molt with a set of brand new, fully developed wings. The wings come out of the box relatively flaccid, but luckily, they come with an instruction manual. For several hours, the praying mantis will stretch and pump these soft wings in the air, and over time, they will dry and harden. Once hard, they're ready for use. The praying mantis will leave the constraints of solid ground and take to the sky. Once the nymphs reach adulthood, it's all sunshine and rainbows. If sunshine and rainbows means a lot of eating and questionable mating decisions. Reproduction for a praying mantis is way more interesting than it has any right being, and there are 2 routes that the species utilizes. The first of these 2 routes is relatively traditional. Once ready to mate, a male praying mantis will spend his days searching for a female. Since praying mantis Tinder is only in its beta release, this is easier said than done. When he finally finds a potential mate, it is not as straightforward as walking out to her and asking her if she's interested in grabbing a coffee to compare their interests and financial goals. The male needs to take great care and approach the female with extreme caution. During this approach, the male needs to perform a mating ritual in an insane effort to not anger the female that at any moment can decide she is not interested and attack or eat the approaching male. The mating ritual being conducted by the approaching male is a well thought out masterpiece. During the approach, the male will move his antenna in a specific way that makes it clear to the female what his intentions are, which is kind of nice, but also, they just met. In addition to the antenna sign language, the male emits pheromones, which are essentially the bug version of cologne, making it extra clear that this male is looking for more than to just be friends. If the female decides that this guy is someone she is willing to mate with, mating is what they do. Once they're done with the task, the female has a pretty important decision she needs to make. Does she A. let this guy go and live his life, or B. kill and consume the male that she just mated with? We have 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Okay, you're gonna need to make a decision. And it looks like she went with... It is a common misconception that the female praying mantis will eat every male after she mates, but it does happen from time to time, and I guess that's just a risk that the males need to be willing to take. If that isn't good birth control for young male praying mantises, I don't know what is. Praying mantis have another route that they can take to reproduce that is much more unique and way less traditional. Female praying mantises are also able to reproduce using a process known as parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis is a type of reproduction where an unfertilized egg becomes an embryo. Put simply, this means that a female can turn any of her eggs into a baby praying mantis without any involvement from a male. Since there is no other input of genes in parthenogenesis, the babies that emerge are essentially genetic clones of the mother mantis, rather than what would be typically thought of as offspring. Regardless of what route the female mantis chooses, it normally takes about 2 weeks until she is ready to lay the eggs. Once the egg case is laid, the mother's work is done, and she will have no further involvement with protecting, mentoring, or even calling any of her offspring. That is one way to save money on childcare. Female praying mantises will mate and produce egg cases multiple times throughout their lives, meaning a single female has the potential of laying thousands of eggs. Multiple mating sessions is also possible for males, obviously contingent on if they aren't killed after their meet and greets. When they aren't partaking in the world's weirdest mating rituals, praying mantis can generally be found wandering around and eating the same insect diet that they grew to love in their nymph days. There are about 1,500 different species of praying mantis, and the majority of them can be found in tropical environments. Just because they can be found all over the place does not mean that you are going to see them all over the place. Praying mantis is a master of disguise. Their anatomy and various shades of color allow them to easily blend in with grasses, twigs, and other surroundings. Sneaking up on a praying mantis is not an easy task. They are the only insect that is able to tilt their head to 180 degrees. 2 giant beady compound eyes allow the praying mantis to view the world with panoramic vision and with excellent depth perception. The life of a praying mantis in most instances takes place over a single year. They will emerge from their eggs early in the spring, grow to adults throughout the summer, mate and lay eggs in early fall, and by the time winter comes around, they will be near the end of their time. The first hard frost is typically enough to send them to praying mantis heaven. Luckily, the egg sacs mentioned earlier come with nature's version of a heated blanket. The egg sacs protect the eggs inside from the outside elements and ensure that the species will survive to spring, where the cycle can continue again. The praying mantis is an amazing animal, and I hope I was able to teach you something about them that you did not know prior to this video. I learned a lot while making it. If you're new to the channel, I would appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button. It's free to you and it helps me out a lot. Let me know in the comments below if there's a particular animal that you'd like me to make a video about. I read every comment and I take every idea into consideration. That's all I got. Thanks for watching.